students, welcome to Department of Chemistry, KTHM College, Nasik. So student, in our previous lecture, we started our discussion about the water pollutants. We studied the organic pollutants, inorganic pollutants. Now today in this lecture, we will deal with one most important water pollutant, that is the detergent. So our today's task of a discussion is the detergents. The detergent is nothing but the sodium salt of polyalkyl benzene sulfonic acid. The sodium salt of polyalkyl benzene sulfonic acid is known as a detergent. Sodium salt of polyalkyl benzene sulfonic acid is known as detergent. In fact, detergent is nothing but the cleaning agent. It is cleaning agent which includes surface active agents and builders. Includes surface active agent. We call it as a surfactants, and they are present in the ratio of 10 to 30% approximately. And second component is a builders. Probably 12% builder is present. In addition to that, they also contain other ingredients and also other ingredients such as sodium silicate, sodium sulfate, sodium silicate, sodium sulfates, some coloring agent, some flavoring agent, some stabilizers, etc., etc. The most important component of the detergent is a surface active agent, that is the surfactants. The surfactant has a amphiphilic structure. The surfactants, that is the surface active agent, we call it as a surfactant. Surfactant has amphiphilic structure. Amphiphilic structure means what? One part of the structure is a polar, that is the ionic one, and another part of the structure is a non-polar, that is the non-ionic. That is, one part of the structure is a polar, that is ionic, while another part is non-polar, that is a non-ionic. Obviously, the polar part is hydrophilic in nature and non-polar part is hydrophobic in nature. The polar part, that is the ionic part, that is the hydrophilic part, is also known as a head, while the non-polar part, that is the non-ionic part, that is hydrophobic part, is known as a tail. The polar part is known as a head while the non-polar part is known as a tail. And therefore, if you think the tentative structure, suppose in order to explain the amphiphilic structure, we will take one example. Suppose, as far as the definition, the detergent is the sodium salt of polyalkyl benzene sulfonic acid. Polyalkyl benzene sulfonic acid. So the polyalkyl benzene sulfonic acid, yes, double bond O, O minus. This is your benzene ring. Then again, alkyl group will be there. Suppose hydrogen, methyl group. Again, I will write over here CH2, then hydrogen, then methyl group. Then again, I will write CH2. In this way, R group will be extended. So this is your polyalkyl benzene sulfonic acid, and this is the sodium salt. So this is your detergent as per as the definition. Sodium salt of polyalkyl benzene sulfonic acid. So as per as the definition, the surfactant has amphiphilic structure. It means the one part is a polar and another part is a non-polar. So this is the polar part and the rest of the non-polar part. So this is your polar part. This is your polar part. And this is your non-polar part. This is your polar part. This is your non-polar part. Polar part is also known as the ionic part. And this is obviously non-ionic part. The polar part is a hydrophilic in nature. So I will call it as a hydrophilic end. Hydrophilic part. And this is your hydrophobic part. Hydrophilic and hydrophobic part. This hydrophilic part is also known as head. It is also known as head, and the hydrophilic part is known as tail. And therefore, the tentative structure, ideal structure of the detergent, means more particularly surfactant, can be drawn it in this way. Suppose this is the head part and this is the tail part. This is your head part and this is your tail part. This is your polar part. This is your non-polar part. So ideally, instead of writing a complete structure of the surfactant, you can write it in this way. It indicates the head means polar part, means the ionic part, means the hydrophilic part, and this is nothing but the tail part, non-polar, non-ionic, hydrophobic part of the detergent molecule. Clear here? Okay. Now as per as the discussion, this is the polar part, we call it as a hydrophilic. This is the non-polar part, we call it as a hydrophobic part. You just note all these data so that we will proceed towards the cleaning action of the detergent. Okay, now we will talk about the cleaning action of a detergent. So obviously, as far as the discussion, the surfactant is an important component of the detergent which causes the cleaning. It has an amphiphilic structure. One part is a polar one, we call it as a head. Another part is a non-polar, we call it as a tail. It is nothing but the hydrophilic. And the tail part is a hydrophobic in nature. As this head part is a hydrophilic in nature, obviously it will tend towards the water. And this is the hydrophilic, it will tend towards the hydrocarbon. मान लो आपके पास ये आपका कंटेनर है और इस कंटेनर में ये पूरा वाटर है. And as a part of the discussion, we will took a oil droplet. Suppose this is your oil droplet. So what will be the orientation of surfactant with respect to the oil droplet, because we are talking about the cleaning action, how the detergent will clean up, how they will separate the oil droplet and other mud particle from the particular matter such as the cloths and any other. As this is your hydrophobic part, it has a more tendency to orient towards the hydrocarbon. This is the hydrophilic, and therefore in aqueous medium the surfactant molecule oriented in such a way that the hydrophilic part will be the outside and the hydrophobic part will be the inside, means towards the hydrocarbon, because this is your oil, this is your hydrocarbon. So what will be the orientation of a surfactants? It will be oriented in this way. Mind well, this is your head, this is your tail, this is your head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, means the tail will oriented towards the hydrocarbon, means towards the oil droplet, and the head, which is the polar, will be the outside, because outside there is a water and the head has a more solubility in aqueous medium. It has an affinity towards the water, while the tail part, which is a non-polar, non-ionic, has an affinity towards the oil. So they will be oriented in this way, in a such a way that the surfactant molecule forms a protective coating over the oil droplet, and we call it as a micelle formation. This is complete micelle formation. In this way, the surfactant molecule form a micelle with oil droplet. Such a type of a number of a micelle formation will take place. And in this way, due to the formation of micelle, due to the formation of the protective coating, just like this is your oil droplet, and the detergent molecules, means a surfactant molecule, will form a protective coating over that. Obviously, due to this protective coating, just like this is a protective coating, this is a protective coating, they will never stick up again on the cloth, and they'll remain as a suspension. It remain as a suspension, means the micelle will be suspended in the water, and thereby they causes the cleaning. Clear hai? So you just note all this data so that we will proceed towards the type of surfactants. Types of surfactants. Or we call it type of detergents. Now, depending upon the nature of a head, means the nature of a ionic part, hydrophilic part, the surfactants are classified into three classes. One is nothing but the anionic surfactant, second is a cationic surfactant, and third one is a neutral surfactant. First of all, we will talk about the anionic surfactants. Anionic surfactants. The surfactant in which the polar end, means hydrophilic end, contains anion is known as anionic surfactant. The surfactant in which polar end contains anion is known as anionic surfactants. We will write the example. Suppose first example, Na plus O minus S double bond O benzene ring. Then we will write the structure: carbon, hydrogen, CH3. carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen, carbon, hydrogen, CH3, again carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen, again carbon, CH3, CH3, hydrogen. In this way we call it as a alkyl benzene sulfonate. So alkyl benzene sulfonate, this is your alkyl benzene sulfonate, this is your alkyl benzene sulfonate. Shortly I will call it as a ABS, alkyl benzene sulfonate. We can write up the shorthand notation for this molecule also, and the shorthand notation will be written in this way. Sodium ion will be kept outside the bracket, then inside the bracket O minus, then we will write S double bond O, S double bond O, then we will draw the benzene ring, and instead of writing alkyl group we will write R over here. So this is your shorthand notation. Shorthand notation, and here R is nothing but the alkyl group. In this way we can write the another example also. Second example, suppose if you took Na plus oxygen, S double bond O, instead of writing a branched alkyl group, we will write the straight chain also. We will call it as a linear alkyl sulfonate. Suppose CH2, 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 CH3 suppose. So we call it as a linear alkyl sulfonate. Linear alkyl sulfonate. What will be the shorthand notation? This is your Na plus into the bracket O minus S double bond O, benzene ring, then R group. Here is also R is equal to alkyl group. R is equal to alkyl group. So these are the examples of anionic surfactants. These are the anionic surfactant because the polar end contains anion. Mind well, the polar end contains anion O minus. O minus anion. Sorry. O minus. So the polar end contains anion. So this is an example of anionic surfactants. The important characteristic is that the anionic surfactants are less biodegradable. Important thing, they are less biodegradable. They are less biodegradable. They are less biodegradable. Okay, so note this data. Now the second class of a detergent is a cationic detergent. Second one. The surfactants or detergents in which the polar end means ionic end contains cation is known as a cationic detergent. The detergent in which polar end contains cation is known as cationic surfactants or cationic detergents. Generally, the cationic detergents are the sodium salt of quaternary ammonium benzene sulfonates. For example, Suppose this is the nitrogen. Suppose this is one methyl group, another methyl group, one more methyl group, and benzene ring is here. Instead of that, we will write the R group also. Any alkyl group, R dash, suppose R double dash over here. Obviously, quaternary nitrogen positive charge and X minus will be there. Here R dash, sorry, R dash and R double dash are short hydrocarbons. X minus is the halides, probably chloride, bromide or iodide is here. So it was your polar end and this is your non-polar end. The polar end contains cation, so we call it as a cationic detergents. So student, you just note the cation detergents so that we will proceed towards the neutral surfactants. Now the third type of surfactant is a neutral surfactants. Or we call it as a non-ionic. Non-ionic surfactants. The non-ionic surfactants are generally the derivative of ethers and they are particularly useful to lower the surface tension of water, and so that it improves the cleaning action. They are used to lower the surface tension of water and thereby improves the cleaning action. Especially they form a emulsion with a dust particle. Generally they are ether linkages or ether derivatives. Suppose CH3 then CH2 8 times. Suppose it is taken 20 times, then oxygen, then CH2, then CH3 in this way. This is an ideal example of the non-ionic surfactants. The builders which is used in detergent bind with the calcium 2 plus and magnesium 2 plus ions by forming the complexes. The builders form complex with a Ca2 plus and Mg2 plus, making the solution alkaline. The builder combines with Ca2 plus and Mg2 plus, making the solution alkaline and improves the cleaning action. And improves the cleaning action. Sometimes polyphosphates are used as a builder. Sometimes the polyphosphates are used as a builder. The example belonging to that category is the Na5P3O10. Na5P3O10. Structure is in this way: P double bond O, P double bond O, P double bond O minus, O minus, O minus, O minus, and O minus, and Na for you. O minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Na plus. So molecular formula is Na5 P3 1, 2, 3 and O10. It is one of the builder which is generally used. So note all these data so that we will proceed towards the eutrophication. Eutrophication, that is the algal nutrition. In fact, the meaning of the word eutrophication is nothing but the well nourished. Eutrophication means it is nothing but the well nourished. The builders such as polyphosphate used in the detergent are used as a nutrients for the growth of algae in water bodies, and thereby they blocks the water bodies because they provide the nutrients to the algae in water bodies. The first step of eutrophication is the addition of micronutrients in the water. The first thing I have already told you, that is about the polyphosphates used in detergent. Polyphosphate acts as a nutrient and thereby increases the growth of algae. The beyond or expanded growth of algae will block the water bodies. Secondly, when we add a rural runoff, urban runoff, agricultural runoff, sewage, domestic wastes into the water body, they adds a micronutrient into the water body, and the addition of such micronutrients by various means increases the growth of algae, and the increased growth of algae will cause us a trouble because they blocks the water bodies. So student, it was an account about the eutrophication. Now we will talk about the marine pollution. Second part is marine pollution. Marine pollution is ocean pollution. It is related to the sea pollution. We know that ocean and sea is endless, and every waste such as domestic waste, industrial waste, agricultural runoff, urban runoff, rural runoff, at the end goes into the ocean or sea. In short, we can say that the ocean and seas are the big dustbin and they are endless. And therefore, the marine pollution is the endless and end pollution of all types of pollution. For example, domestic waste, which when goes into the common water body, maybe the streets, it may be the lakes, it may be the river, and finally it is disposed into the ocean or sea. And therefore, we should think over the marine pollution by protecting the primary sources, by protecting the street, ocean, lakes, ponds, etc. etc. So student, I hope you enjoyed the session. In this lecture we will stop here. In our next lecture we will talk about the thermal pollution and the oil pollution. Thank you.